Hey everybody, welcome back to World of Warships, and welcome aboard the Tier 8 American battleship, the Massachusetts. Now, the Massachusetts is an interesting beast. It's one of the it is the only U.S. battleship that is a secondary focused battleship. Most of the others are more concerned with anti-aircraft and main batteries, and holy cow are they good. I've recently just unlocked the North Carolina, and it is satisfying. I feel like this line of ships, Massachusetts and Alabama, I want to say, wow, did I say Alabama or NC? NC is the tech tree ship, that's the one I've unlocked. Anyway, these type of ships, this first generation of fast battleships that the USN has, just really click with me. I don't know why. The gameplay is solid. So these are among my favorite ships. And this Pensacola here is going to demonstrate why by, well, giving us a pretty difficult target to shoot at, and, well, let's just say 16-inch guns. Yeah, they hurt. Granted, that's a Pensacola, and I do have trouble finding citadels of battleships occasionally. I don't think I get a single citadel on a battleship in this match, but I think that's just my aim in all honesty. And furthermore, I don't really know what that Pensacola was doing. They had a death wish pushing in that aggressively into all of those torpedoes. Look at that. Charles Martel at long range doing what Charles Martel does. We don't get any hits. I'm not expecting that. The shell velocity on these ships are obscenely slow at something like 700 meters per second. So they're slow, but they penetrate extremely hard. So you trade off shell velocity for more accuracy and exceptionally good penetration. Although, to be fair, the Massachusetts with its 1.7 sigma means it's going to be a lot less consistent than the likes of Alabama and NC. And Colorado, for that matter. I think Colorado has a 2.0 sigma. Now, granted, sigma only affects the tendency of the shells to go more towards a center position, I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. But generally, the higher the number, the more consistent the ship is going to be. Now, with the Pensacola gone and the Amagi beached and not really... Well, he's angled heavily, so I'm going to not get good damage. Yeah, 6,000. Not bad. 3 overpens. But so, with their Pensacola gone, their Charles Martel doing Charles Martel things in the back of the map, and their Amagi about to go down pretty soon, we need to push. There are no destroyers over here. They're all on the other flank. And there's just this Tier 8 battleship that's about to go down, and a Tier 8 cruiser that, let's face it, it really can't stop a concentrated push of several cruisers, a couple battleships, and a destroyer. So we're going to be pushing pretty tough on this flank, and after the Amagi goes down, really nothing happens, so I, through the power of editing, accelerate the footage to where we are about to enter the base. I do take one last shot at this Charles Martel just to try my luck. I kind of spread it out just to make it a little more difficult for him to dodge. And you can see just how slow these shells travel, but we do end up getting 2 hits, a pen and an overpen, for some damage. And we jump ahead, again shooting at the Charles Martel. You can see the grouping of this shell is pretty good. This is kind of an exception. And we get 2 pens, 1 overpen, not bad. Good damage, and at Tier 8, the Charles Martel can't heal that back up, so whatever damage we do is gonna stick. And I'm happy about that. So, as you can see, we're pushing into their base. The enemy team really had no presence over here, and our team up in the northeast was in a pretty good position to stop their push. There was a point where they were kind of grouped up on that, what is that, B9 square, but they managed to break it up and are now sort of closing in on 4 enemy ships. Maybe it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 because the T-61 is in the cap right now. But those 5 enemy ships pushed up, and yeah, I thought that they had gone up the middle, but that was a mistake, simply because I failed to realize the T-61 was up there. So we've moved into their base, and this is an example of the Massachusetts with its decent concealment. You can see the circle there. It's not quite as good as the 11.8 kilometers of the North Carolina, with a full concealment build, granted, but it's still pretty damn good. I show a lot of broadside to this Prince Eitel Friedrich in order to get some disappointing shots off at the Charles Martel. Kind of dangerous because this thing, while it's damn near impervious when bow on, if you show any kind of broadside, you're going to get punished. I give way too much lead to this New Orleans when I do end up taking a shot. Just overcompensated, I guess, for what I thought was a fast-moving ship with slow shells. So, bit of a misplay, but it's okay. We're in a good position. Nobody can really hurt us. I think I've got all my heals at this point. I might have used one. I can't really tell because of the preview window in my editor, but we're in a good position. We're in their base. We're brawling with a Prince Eitel Friedrich, and there's just tier 6 battle cruiser versus a tier 8 battleship. He can't really do anything. Unfortunately, I give a little too much side, and you can see he manages to punch through a lot of my armor, and that's because this ship is largely covered in 32 and 19 millimeter plating. So, against any HE or AP on your superstructure, you're gonna eat some damage. Like Prince Eitel Friedrich, I think has, I want to say 350 millimeter guns. That sounds right. So they're gonna go through my superstructure with absolute ease. Decent HE volley. The New Orleans pops up, but due to the cyclone, I'm unable to see him, and I'm just waiting for the New Orleans to show up. Our Atlanta is gunboating in the open, and I guess that's okay, but he does end up going down. I've certainly been in that position, so I can't judge too harshly. There's the New Orleans. Send him the good news. All 9 of our 16-inch guns. Probably overkill, but he goes down. 11k, just gone. Unfortunately, the Prince Eitel Friedrich is doing a number on our Atlanta, so we're going to try to stop that. And to this Prince Eitel Friedrich's credit, they recognize exactly what's going on. They're going to push into the base, and they're going to prevent us from capping it, thus giving their team a bit of an advantage. Well, not an advantage, we're still going to win. And even, you can see there, tier 6 battlecruiser, 3 pens through the nose for 11k. They weren't citadels, but yeah, that's shows the power of these 16-inch guns. So I really like them, if you couldn't tell. Anyway, we're slowing down and backing up. I probably should have started to accelerate at this point, just to prevent the Friedrich from getting into the position that he's going to be in, but we didn't, and we don't, so only now, I think, do I start accelerating. Yeah, here I go. They're going to be in a weird, really odd position. There was a small part of me that was expecting them to pop out around the corner showing full broadside, but they didn't. They played it safely, and I think they beached on that island right there. They threw off sort of my aim a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go down. It's just a matter of time. Now, with this battle, this was very, very favorable matchmaking. I think there were only 2 tier 8s in the whole match. I think all the destroyers were tier 7. And I think there's that Charles Martel. And what was their other tier 8? The Amagi. I don't think there was anything else. So we lull pen the Eitel Friedrich through the nose, and the Charles Martel pops up. This is a bit of a risky situation because the Martel does have good torpedoes. I am unfortunately going to eat one at some point, but a lot of that was due to me choosing the wrong time to go into chat. You can see the secondaries here. They're kind of... There's a lot of them. Well, there's not really a lot of them. They're pretty damn accurate, but unfortunately they're not able to finish off this guy. And this Miyoko with that cheeky kill secure. I know exactly what you did. Now, I did pop my repair here a little early. There's the torpedoes. The mass has a good torp belt, but unfortunately I ate it on the sort of section right in between the torp belt and the nose, so I probably got flooding, but we had our heal up, or our repair party up, so we were pretty much invulnerable. Jumping ahead again to pretty much the end of the match, another example of the mass just bullying even tier 7s like the Leon. We ate 4,000 damage from 16 guns. Yeah. Like I said, this thing's covered in 32 millimeters of armor, so that means the only things that can pen you through the nose are Yamato and Musashi. Of course, plunging fire still will affect you, but at this close range, it's not really an issue. And if you're playing the mass at a range where plunging fire becomes a real worry for Citadel hits, you're not doing it right. That was an excellent grouping. Again, unable to find the Citadel. I don't know what's wrong with my aim, but yeah, it just, I don't know. Never seems to connect for me. I thought this guy might go for the ram. He is the last player on their team, but he's perfectly content to continue shooting AP at my nose. I honestly think he should have switched to HE. That would have done a lot more damage. End up getting a high caliber. Still unable to find the Citadel. He's down to 4K. I get a little greedy, I think, trying to get that back turret off, but I think it's going to work out in the end. And if you notice, here comes that Miyoko again with AP on the broadside, securing the kill from me. Anyway, moving into the results, 150,000 damage, 3,500 XP, 2,500 free XP, and about 376,000 credits. We made, I think, about 280 in the end. So overall, very good result. Only 2 Citadel hits, though. Like I said, I tend to have a little trouble finding Citadels, but that's me. Players with better aim who've been playing this type of ship since open beta probably won't have that issue. It's taken me 3 years to grind through the American battleship tree, so. Moving on, finished top of the team with 1,700 XP. Not bad. The Leningrad and Southern Dragon below us both had about 500 and 600 XP less than I did, so good result. Their Gnevny did a lot of work, coming in at 4th in the entire match, so hats off to you, sir. Detailed report-wise, most of our damage went into that Prince Eitel Friedrich. We did a number on the Pensacola and the Leon. Wow, we did 21k against the Charles Martel, and that 11k volley against the New Orleans that ended up finishing him off. Got some decent damage on the Amagi too, about 1/6 of his health. And finally, credits-wise, 273,000 XP, XP credits, so it's a decent moneymaker. With premium, you would have made close to 500,000. So, granted, this is a, again, very, very favorable game. Now let me show you what happens when we are in a bit less favorable situation with a lot of tier 10s. Now, when you're playing against a number of tier 10s, it's a little more difficult, obviously. You can see the matchmaking is just, oof, ouch. And when this happens, I tend to play a little more not cautiously, but a little... Yeah, cautiously, I would say. Even though this ship is a brawler at its heart, with the 7... I think my secondaries extend to 8.3 km right now with no commander skills. If you get focused in this ship, especially in Tier 10 matchmaking, and by cruisers like a Des Moines or Baltimore, you are gonna suffer. You are going to suffer, because all of those cruisers can pen your armor. IFHE cruisers, with 152s, I'm pretty sure can pen your armor. So, you want to try to avoid HE spam. Granted, that's not as big of an issue with 2 grosse Kurfürsts in the match, like there are now. And to add more complications, there is a Tier 10 carrier, the Hakuryu. Fortunately, this is an American ship, and thus has pretty damn good AA, so you're going to be safe, even against tier 10 planes. The Kurfürst is giving us a lot of broadside. The spotter plane returning kind of threw off my aim, but we still get a good salvo. That's a really good shell grouping. 4 pens off of 6 barrels. I'll take that pretty much any day of the week. And there are 2 of them, like I said. Those are scary ships, mainly because of the HP. They have, like, not quite twice the amount of HP that I have, but it's like close to it. So they're pretty scary. Fortunately, though, they're going wide and putting an island between themselves and me, and I'm able to back up and reposition into an area that is much more favorable for me. Oh wow, they actually turn off. Interesting. You can see these Tier 10 planes coming for me. Are they Tier 10? Yeah, they're Tier 10 Haku planes coming for myself and the Republic. And this will just show how decent the AA, even with just a 10-point commander, is. Bear in mind, I think I have BFT but not AFT, or manual fire, so your mileage will vary depending on commander skills. I kind of did a weird commander build for this ship, but that doesn't much matter. It's a very standard build. Now, like I said, we're going to try to push up to this island here, sort of creating a corridor of fire where we can bring 66% of our guns to bear without showing much of our broadside. You can see our team has the left flank in my immediate vicinity pretty clear, so we don't have to worry about anybody popping up and blapping us from the left. But from the right, there are 2 Tier 10 battleships and a couple of cruisers. So I want to be a little bit more cautious in pushing up to this position. Now earlier, our Seattle kind of YOLO'd in. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but they went down. Our team is kind of losing at the moment, down 3 ships to 1. But that's going to pretty quickly change. Their Baltimore is seen in the open, firing. I'm not sure what they thought. I did unfortunately steer the wrong way here, so I'm showing significant broadside to their Tier 10 battleships and their Des Moines, but like I said, there's an island there, and shells can't go through islands. Got some good damage on the Baltimore. Again, like I said with the Charles Martel, he's a Tier 8 cruiser, so he can't heal any of that back up. And he's trying to nose tank me. Baltimore can nose tank almost, well, a few select battleships at its tier and higher. But, well, they of course give broadside, and I remove them from the match. But as I was saying, even though the Balti can nose tank some battleships, this isn't one of them. With our 16-inch guns, no, don't even try it. So, Mogami shows up, giving us a nice flat broadside. Some pretty good play, rudder or throttle play here. Throws off my aim for this first salvo. But still, showing broadside to any ship in a Mogami, you're not gonna live very long. You can only get lucky so many times. Looks like planes are coming back, but I don't think they're gonna go for me. Our, what is that? Minotaur has pushed into B, trying to capture it. I don't know how successful that's gonna be. Oh, the enemy team managed to get A. And I did recognize that there were torps potentially incoming based on the position of the Shimakaze, so there they are. Get some unfortunate overpens on this Mogami. But, like I said, you can only show broadside in a tier 8 cruiser like the Mogami for so long before somebody blaps you. Trust me, I know, I've tried it. Fortunately, I think unfortunately, he recognizes his mistake and begins angling a little bit, but this thing can overmatch. Yeah, he's putting on the gas now. So I give a little more lead. There's the Shimakaze. I don't know. I think that's his smoke screen. Man, this Mogami is getting away with murder. Shimakaze pops up. I'm anticipating more torpedoes simply because I don't know if he is running smoke screen or torpedo reload booster, so I want to be a little cautious. Our team is focusing him down, and he's not long for this world. I think the Minotaur ends up getting him. I take a shot, but slow shell velocity and a fast-moving destroyer, you're going to have to get real lucky. Mogami is again showing broadside. I don't think they expected their tier 10 cruiser, or wow, I know ships. Their tier 10 destroyer to go down, so they pushed a little aggressively, and okay, more pens. But again, tier 8 cruiser, he can't heal any of that back up, and with a Minotaur, whatever, shooting at you, yeah, you're not going to last long. At this point, we've taken the lead pretty convincingly. I think one of their Kurfürsts is about to go down. You saw how low he was. I think, actually, the Republic on our team is going to get a close quarters expert. So, I try to sneak in a shot, but with well, I only fire one of my turrets, but the slow shells versus the fast ones that the Republic has, yeah, that was a pipe dream. Now we still have to worry about this Des Moines, and Des Moines is really scary for this ship because Des Moines has an insane rate of fire, and it's got 203mm guns. I can't show broadside because the AP will chew me up, and I can't bow tank because the HE will pen me. So, if we see him, we gotta drop him fast. So, I am gonna push into the cap. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to get it this time around. I do have to do an about face and fall back because of that Des Moines, who is gonna pop up eventually. Yep, there he goes. There's the fire. Can't see him. He can see me thanks to the planes. Put my scout in the air hoping to find him, but I think somebody else spots him. Yeah, and he's reversing behind an island. Full broadside. I take a little bit too much time here trying to find the best position, but our second volley ends up rewarding us, I think, yep, with a Citadel. Unfortunately, he gets behind the island. I do have a double fire. Normally I would repair this, but with a Des Moines, although he's behind the island now, maybe I should have popped my repair. Bombers coming my way. I think these ones are for me. Oh, jeez. That's why I didn't pop my repair. I knew the bombers were coming in, and if I used my repair, I could have been set on fire permanently. So I didn't want to risk that. Des Moines turns hard, throws off my aim a little bit, but we still managed to get one normal pen and one bounce. So that's actually a good example of the fact that this ship, the guns, as good as they are with improved AUSN AP angles, will still bounce on heavily angled targets. Though if I had hit the stern, it would have overmatched and done damage. More damage, that is. So, yeah, I like this ship. Even in tier 10, you're perfectly capable of doing good amounts of damage and surviving, really. I mean, we've only used one of our heals. I pop another one just to get back up to about half HP, give me a little bit more to play with, and continue fighting. I wanted to try to punish this Iowa's broadside, but Nah, I'm not fast enough. And in fact, I think that's the only complaint I have about this. While I'm able to do 27.5 knots, I think is base, the Iowa can do 30 plus. So it's about 2.5 knots faster, and I was in the middle of a turn, so yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But overall, this, like I said earlier, this line of ships is quickly becoming one of my faves. Wow, I can't believe I said faves. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? It is quickly becoming one of my favorite ships to play. There we go. Proper English. We get the cap. And we're gonna move on, push through the channel here. I like to think that we've done a decent job for our team. We haven't tanked a whole lot, simply because we've been playing a little cautiously. Some might say too cautiously. But I mean, we've done good damage. We've gotten a cruiser out of the match. We've put some good damage into tier 10 battleships, and we've helped secure this flank for our team. That Des Moines is not going to be a threat, especially with the presence that we have here. So I feel comfortable moving off. Presented with a nose-on or Amagi. I think the Amagi is one of the ships, tier 8 ships that we can overmatch on the nose, but don't quote me on that. I don't know my IJN ships well enough. Their Haku eats a lot of damage from torpedoes, and he's going to go down pretty quickly. He's got a lot of ships focusing him. Des Moines pops up showing broadside, but I decide to go after the Haku. I figure, what's the worst that can happen? Waste a 30-second cooldown. And I think, yep, we're going to secure this kill, so that's 2 to our name. And at this point, I just want to go after this Mogami. Wow, it's not a Mogami, it's an Amagi. Jeez, you would think after taking 3 years of Japanese in high school, I would be able to pronounce Japanese things correctly and recognize that battleship and cruisers are different, but nope, apparently not. Oh wow, that's an interesting comparison. I've been playing this game for as long as I've taken Japanese. Wait, no, that can't be right. Whatever. I've been playing this game 3 years. I took 3 years of Japanese in high school. Broadside Wooster. I'm honestly shocked that we didn't... Well, then again, I don't see where the shells land. Oh, we didn't give enough lead. There's a point here where I was shocked that we only got overpens, especially on a broadside cruiser, and that's one of the things that really drives me crazy about this game sometimes, is... Yes, it is pretty consistent RNG, but at the same time, you get some stupid stuff like broadside and cruisers only netting you overpens. So, I don't know. Very strange, and if there were more time left, this Wooster could have melted me, but the game's about to end. There are only 2 ships left. We managed to salvage this pretty well. There goes the game. And unfortunately, I don't have any... What's it called? Commander build for this thing, or I mean not commander build, result screens for this, so I'm just going to jump right into my commander build. Like I said, it's not a standard, I guess, commander build. I start out with preventative maintenance to prevent the risk of damaged modules. I think I go main, no, not main battery, it's expert marksman, to help reduce turret traverse, which honestly I think was a bit of a mistake because it's got decent turret traverse stock. Then, like I said, I went with basic firing training. Good skill, especially if you, for the Massachusetts, when you want to go for that secondary build. And at the 4th slot, I took concealment because concealment builds are just so powerful in this game. Let's see. Of course, moving on, I would definitely recommend going advanced firing training or fire prevention. I think I'd go advanced firing training first, then fire prevention. That takes you up to 18 points. And then honestly, I would go with priority target. Because when you're brawling, it's pretty important to know when it's time to pull back and when it's time to push. Like, if you only have one ship targeting you and there's a target-rich environment in front of you, that's a good time to push. But if there's 5 ships targeting you and only 2 that you can effectively fire on, you might want to go dark. So, you can see in the port the concealment is relatively good, 12.4, but it's not quite at the level of the North Carolina, which full concealment build is 11.8. So it's a trade-off, but I think you have a better rudder shift, 15.2 versus, where are you? 15.2 versus 15.7. Oh, I have the rudder shift mod on the NC. Anyway, modules-wise, premium repair and premium heal. I don't really see the need for premium spotter, and it's just an additional 20,000 credits that I really don't want to spend. For the upgrades, I would recommend going with main armaments mod 1, damage control mod 1, artillery plotting room mod 1, because without it you have a pretty gimped range, and with it you're up to 21.2, which is comfortable. Though granted, I don't really engage targets at that distance. Fourth, I took damage control 2. You could take steering gears and reduce your rudder shift by a further 20%, but honestly, it's pretty comfortable without it for me. I make it work. And finally, concealment mod 1, because why would you ever take this on something that doesn't have hydro? So, yeah. Like I said, I really enjoy this ship. It seems to fit well with my playstyle, along with the NC. So I think they're just slow enough that I don't get overly aggressive, unlike I tend to do in the Missouri with that 35 knot speed. So yeah, they both fit me exceptionally well. And since this is a premium, you get a decent income from it. Your camouflage reduces the post-battle service by 10%, and you get an additional 50% XP. Signals, I'm trying to grind out some free XP, so I am mounting Ouroboros and Hydras. Hydras also increase Commander XP and XP, so yeah. Furthermore, I'm running Zulu and India Bravo Terra 3 in order to maximize credit income. Combat flags wise, I'm running India Delta to improve my HP per heal. There we go. And Mike Yankee Soxa 6 for extended secondaries and minimizing dispersion. Wow, what is wrong with me? And finally, I'm doing November Echo Zeta 7 for improved AA. Now, as this is a premium ship, you need to know what I recommend, and I can't answer that for you. Because, A, I got this out of a Santa crate, the first one I bought, and the only one I've bought so far. And it's a $50 ship. I got it in the $47 pack. But if you really want to burn $56, and you like American guns, and you like secondary builds, yeah, go ahead, purchase it. I think it's great, but it really fits me, so bear that in mind. Anyway, that was my Massachusetts commentary and showcase, I guess, really. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If not, well, I'd appreciate it if you don't dislike it, but leave a comment saying how I can improve. Hopefully gonna get some more regular content out. I have a Nagato commentary and game. I need to redo the commentary, though, because it's trash. But we'll see. I'll get to that. I'm going to try to start streaming pretty regularly, probably every Thursday and Friday. But again, we'll see. It depends on my work schedule as well as my class schedule. Fortunately, I know my class schedule, but I don't know my work schedule. So, again, we'll see. But enough rambling. Go have a wonderful weekend, wonderful holiday. And if you're a student like me, a wonderful winter break. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.